Hi everybody, it's Mr. Lou and this is page 95. Look at the dot paper, write the multiplication fact. Okay, so this is very much like we did in our last page. So over here we have one row of 6. Alright, so I'm going to write over here one row of 6. So if you look at it, you just have one single row and you have 6 circles in that row. And if you have one row of 6, you just have 1 times 6, and that's your multiplication fact. Well, 1 times 6 is just, well, there's just 6 dots there. Okay, so let's look at this one now. So even though you still have 6 dots, you don't have one row anymore. Here you have 6 rows of 1. Okay, I'm going to highlight that to make that clearer for you. So that's 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, and the last one 6 rows. So if you have 6 rows of 1, your multiplication is now 6 times 1. But your answer is still going to be 6. Okay? So here, number 8. Let's do number 8. Here we have 3 rows of 5. So we have 3 rows of 5, and we know 3 rows of 5 is 3 times 5. And like we showed up here, if 1 times 6 equals 6 and 6 times 1 equals 6, it really doesn't matter which number you put first because you're going to get the same exact number. So over here, 3 times 5 is the same thing as, well, 5 times 3. Because both ways to multiply will give you the same answer, and that answer is, well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So both ways gives you 15. Gives you the same answer, just a different picture. Okay, so this is number 9. Complete the multiplication fact, then show on each number line. All right, so over here for 2 times 5, we want 2 rows of 5. And I think you guys can draw 2 rows of 5 yourself. Here, 5 times 2, well, we now need 5 rows of 2. And again, 5 rows of 2 is the same thing. 2 rows of 5 is the same thing as 2 jumps of 5 each. 5 rows of 2 is, again, the same thing as, let's fix that, 5 jumps of 2. So here we want 2 jumps, 1 jump, 2 jumps of 5 each. Over here we want 5 jumps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of 2 each. Alright, so once you figure out the answer, you should get the same exact answer because 2 times 5 will be the same thing as 5 times 2. So, like I said before, 2 times 5 will give us the same thing as 5 times 2. And I think you guys can fill out the rest yourself. So let's move on to 96, number 10. Fill in the missing numbers. Alright. So 2 times something equals 0 times something. Alright, so here, because we're going to multiply by 0, we know everything that any number that multiplies by 0 will get a 0. So this has to be 0. 2 times 0 equals, and again we can switch these numbers around, 0 times 2. And we know that any number multiplied by 0 will give us just 0. Okay, so number 11 is the same exact problem. You guys can do that by yourself. Over here, we have 5 times something equals 1 times 5. Okay, we're going to multiply by 1. And we know that when we multiply a number by 1, we get the same number by itself again. So 5 times 1 equals 1 times 5. And again, any number we multiply by 1 is the same number, so 1 times 5 equals 5. And again, I think you guys can handle number 13 by yourself. So let's look at the bottom here. Complete each multiplication fact, then show on the number line. Okay, 2 times 3 times 3. So step 1, what they do in this multiplication is they first multiply the first 2 numbers first. 2 times 3. And here, 2 times 3 equals 6, as shown on this number line. And again, 2 times 3 is just 2 jumps of 3. And this is what they do first. 1 jump to 3, and another jump, 1, 2, 3. to 6. So here's my 2 jumps of 3, and that gives me 6. So step 2, once they know that 2 times 3 equals 6, they basically just cross this out, and they write 6 on top. So now their problem is 6 times 3. So step 2 is just to do the 6 times 3. And in 6 times 3, that just stands for 6. Well, here, it should stand for 6 jumps of 3, but they did actually 3 jumps of 6. So they did 3 jumps of 6. So here they did 3 jumps of 6. 1 jump to 6, 2 jumps to 12, and 3 jumps to 18. So 6 times 3 equals 18. So that means the whole thing, 2 times 3 times 3 equals 6 times 3, which equals 18. So let's do this together. Over here, we're going to take these two problems first. 2 times 4. So we're going to first start with 2 times 4. Oops, let me erase that. So 2 times 4, as shown on this number line, is just 2 jumps of 4. Okay, so let's first do our 2 jumps of 4. Start at 0. Here's my first jump. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to jump 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4 to 8. And here, 2 times 4 equals, we'll cross this out now. 2 times 4 equals 8. So now I have 8 times 2. So 2 times 4 times 2 really is just 8 times 2. Okay, so now I have 8 times 2, which basically is doing 2 jumps of 8, or 8 jumps of 2. Remember, we don't care. It doesn't matter which way we do it. So here, I'm going to follow this example on top. I'm going to do their 2 jumps of 8. Alright, so here's my first jump to 8, because I know that's my first answer. And then I want to jump another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to jump to 16. So 8 times 2 really gives me 16. Oops, 16. Alright, and that's page 96.